with this specification, and bam, we get it. And that is what we are doing today, learning how to prompt machines. So you're all welcome once again. I know it is my culture to always announce the early arrivals, those who joined us very early. I'm going to be mentioning your name. I'm going to be I'm going to be recognizing your presence for joining the call on time, on time. So I'm going to start right away from the first person that dropped. If you have not dropped your name and where you're joining from, can you do that? Oh, Tani Yakub, joining from Zaria, Kaduna State. You're welcome. She's always punctual to this section. You're very much welcome. We have Blessing from Gombe State. We have Usman Megeri from Bauchi, Nigeria. We have Merit from DSN Pupre. Yes, we have Praise from DSN Futa. They are all welcome. We have Muhammad from DSN Castina. We have Olu Borede Luashe from DSN Oshogbo. Okay, great. If you have not dropped your name and where you're joining from, especially the community that you belong to, the DSN community you belong to, it's very important to drop it in the chat. You have Ekachi, yes, Kachi from Enugu State. Yes, you have Mitala from Oshogbo. You are all welcome, and we are excited to have you a favor from DSN Exu. You're all welcome. Now, let me just take you through about DSN in case we have people who are just joining us for the first time. And that's why I'm going to be doing this. And I'm going to conclude it very, it's going to be very brief. It's not going to be as detailed as what we have on the first day. So if you have not been joining the previous classes, they are all available on our YouTube channel. Just go check, and then you have access to everything. So this is the agenda. And then about data science Nigeria. I'm sure that the vision of data science Nigeria is now a chorus in the mouth of all data science Nigeria members. Yes, we are what? We are committed to what? To raising 1 million AI talent, 1 million AI talent, and building AI solutions that improve the quality of life and well-being of 2 million people living in the emerging market. And that is why we do what we do. Is this vision that push us to organizing trainings and doing what we do at Data Science Nigeria. And these are pillars of impact. Pillars of impact, there are 5. We have the community development, which I'm going to be speaking to in brief. We have the research. We have research, and we have won different research awards at different conferences. Really capacity building, consulting, and product development, and then ecosystem development. So these are 5 pillars of impact. And then let me just quickly take us through what the DSN AI community is all about. The DSN community is a leader in democratizing, very important to democratize AI and data science across Africa, spanning 4 countries. And then we have learning, community members in more than 96 countries of the world. Yes, I do say from the coldest part of the world to the hottest part of the world, we have a DSN community member that is following us and learning from all our sections. So we are recognized by multiple national, international awards. DSN community provide extensive learning resources like what we have now, our knowledge box, which I'm going to be speaking to in subsequent slides. Okay, so this is it. I mentioned that we are beyond borders. So we have global learners network that spans 96 countries. Now, these are multi-faceted community initiative that makes sure that everyone is captured. You are captured. We have the campus community for students. We have the city communities for non-students that are in cities for the ones to be part of the community. We have the ladies in AI that focuses on the ladies. We have the kids and teens, catching them young. We have AI for schools where we take the gospel of artificial intelligence to school. We make tutors available for schools to engage the students. We have AI professionals. We have AI for executives. We have DSN AI talent. Yeah, these are communities that we have in DSN. So I'm very sure you fit into one or two of these community. You have the AI startups, you have AI researchers, practitioners and two experts, partners, and hub. These are communities that you can belong to if you do not belong to one already. So why should you be a DSNR now? These are four major reasons why you should be a DSNR. Number one, access to mentorship. I've mentioned it over and over again that we currently have two mentorship streams going on. Yes, two mentors, one from the ladies in AI, and we also have one from the DSN research community, so that is currently going on and it is intensive. So, and you cannot benefit from this if you are not a committed DSN community member. We have access to free premium and facilities. We have different means of engagement, making sure that training content are available to our community member. We have the DSN local community that trains, organize events, organize trainings, organize meetups. And at the DSN Central too, we also do this, and we also have knowledge box, the YouTube channel with more than 25,000, more than 30,000 contents, that you can always learn from. We also have research support and collaboration, yes, for the researchers and students or anyone who is interested in bringing, innovating new stuff. You can always be part of it. And then getting a certificate of participation. At the end of the year, we are going to be giving our community members who have been attending our events, who have been very committed at the local community. Yes, so that's why it's very important to join a local DSN community member. And you can't believe it. It's possible that a community member, a DSN community is even at your backyard. So I'm going to be sharing the link where you can, get the list of all the community members, all the communities that we have, and then you can select anyone that is very near to you. So to become a DSNR, this is the link. You can just scan this barcode also. You can just take a screenshot and then scan the barcode. And or my colleagues will also be dropping this link that you can just use to become a DSNR. So to know a community are very close to you, just scan this barcode. My colleagues will also be dropping this link for you so that you can get to know a community that is very close to you. Now, these are annual calendar. We plan learning for our community member for a year, and then you can access the calendar so that you can also plan for any of the events that suit your needs or the training that suits your needs. So scan this barcode or use this link to access the learning calendar. Now, I spoke previously about premium learning content, and one of it is a knowledge box. Yeah, it used to be an hard drive that has changed many lives. We have different testimony from those who have accessed our DSN knowledge box, full of context, and now it's available for everyone on our GitHub repository. By using this link or scanning this barcode, you have access to contents, data sets, research papers, or your proficiency as a beginner, intermediate, advanced. Everything is covered. Everything is covered. So you can just access it, and then you definitely enjoy the experience. So now let me take you through the journey to the AI Bootcamp. Yeah, the AI Bootcamp. Please, I want you to do something for me now. In the chat, I want you to drop 2 or 3 things you know about the AI Bootcamp. Just drop one thing, one fact you know about the AI Bootcamp, or what interests you about the AI Bootcamp based on what, probably based on your experience. I'm sure there's a lot of people on this call. Some people on this call might have been part of the AI Bootcamp. So one thing that excites you about the Bootcamp, or what you have learned about the bootcamp, and you think, oh, this bootcamp, because of this that I had, I need to be part of it, the next one. So I want you to drop it. I want to read out the first 3 persons. Okay, generative AI. Wow, okay, generative AI part of the bootcamp. Okay, no problem. That track, the generative AI track. Awesome, good. I'm expecting more feedbacks. I just need 2 more, and then I can move on to the next slide. Okay, going. I just want to see if I can just get 2 or 3 more feedback before I continue the slide. on this, the AI ethics. Yeah, AI ethics. Yes, there is a track on AI ethics where we also speak to responsible AI, trustworthy AI. Making sure that yeah, the boot camp happen online. No, the boot camp is physical or fully residential. Cultural carnival, Tani Yakub, yes, the cultural night. You are very correct. Always exciting. The games, good upon the game, collaboration and meetup of great minds coming together. Yes, yes, you are all on point. Now let's just take everyone through the journey so that you can be part of this year's all expense paid Data Science Nigeria Boot Camp. This is the journey. Okay. So it starts from now, and you have started the journey already by joining the free AI classes in every city. It moves to the free AI classes, hackathon, and project participation. Then to the 30 days free bootcamp learning. All of this is just to prepare you for the AI bootcamp qualification hackathon that now leads to what? Selecting the best of the best, especially the best of the best who are also community members. It is very, very important to know that the criteria, the first criteria is that you're a DSNR. You need to be a DSNR to be able to, to enjoy this benefit or to be part of the all expense paid AI bootcamp. I told you that I started with the free AI classes in every city, and then this is about the DSN AI bootcamp. Number one, that it's all expense paid. The transportation, accommodation, feeding, all is paid for by Data Science Nigeria, and advanced machine learning and deep learning concepts, application of AI. It allows the ambition to raising $1 million AI talent. This high looks like last year, about 30,000, put in, and then only 200 was selected. It's always a very competitive event, very competitive. So these are pictures from the last edition where we have winners. There's award. This is a live session on research. This is a panel session for ladies in AI. This is a cultural night. Yeah, it's always very interesting. The cultural night is very, very interesting. This is the food. The food is also what always the talk of the town. Also have a poster presentation. Yes, poster presentation that you don't want to miss. Okay, now I don't want to take you through this training delivery approach for the FIA in every city. I'm very sure that you're now familiar with this timeline. We have week 3, that's introduction to content. And next week, we're going to start Microsoft Fabrics for data analytics. I'm sure a lot of us on this call will not wait, cannot wait to be part of it. And if there's anyone that still wants to be part of it, the registration form is still open. So you can always share the details with the person, your community, so that we can all be part of it. Now, before I introduce the speaker, this event is very important, and I want us to register. If you have not yet registered, this is how you can contribute to the AI ecosystem in Africa. It's very important. And then number one is that it's going to be very fun-filled. This session is fun-filled. So if you are already registered for this session, please do, first 100 persons to attend that event. We have access to a voucher, a LinkedIn premium voucher. And so just and other goodies, other exciting the games and all of those thoughts, fun stuff that's going to be happening on that day. So if you're not registered, please do so as soon as you can. Now, let me quickly Lucy said pay flights from Kenya. Oh, Lucy is joining from Kenya. Okay. Just be part of it and let's see how that works. Okay. Good. So now let me introduce the speaker. I'm very sure that even if I don't introduce the speaker, everybody on this call, we are now familiar with the speaker. So I'm not going to be reading his bio again because of our time, and so that we can I know we cannot wait to have him start this section. We cannot wait. So please, with your favorite emoji now. I want to check, I'll be checking the chat. So favorite emoji, I want you to join me. I want you all to join me, everybody on this call, to join me to invite Ime Yang to take up the mic and start the session for today. Okay, thank you everyone. Over to you, Ime.
Thank you very much, TJ. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today?
Good afternoon. You're doing great.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for having me here again today. Thanks again to DSM for an opportunity to give back to the community. It started with DSM, and here I am again with DSM. So I will share my slides with you in just a second. Great. Please confirm you can see my eyes. Thank you, Olaide, for the warm welcome. I appreciate it. Please confirm you can see my screen. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon, everybody. Uh, Glad you're all doing fine. How did we find yesterday's class? Interactive? Sweet. Someone says sweet. Someone says great. Informative, engaging, awesome. Thank you very much. Great. I feel very welcome by that. Um, I'm equally excited to be here. Today, we will be looking at advanced prompting strategies. But first, let's do a quick recap. Yesterday, we mentioned two prompt files, zero shots where there are examples. The model just relies on its training data. And few shots where you provide the model some examples. We also mentioned that you can specify length, tone, and style of output. And you can role play the model to give it more context to improve responses. Good. So today we will be more intense. We will discuss three important areas in prompt engineering. We will talk about controlling outputs. We will talk about reasoning and refinement. And finally, we will discuss analytical and adaptive techniques for this engaging session. So first off, we'll be discussing about delimiters. These are tags you use to separate parts of an input. It helps the model focus on what you present to it and helps it to not confuse your instruction with data. You can use brackets, triple quotes or backticks or name tags. We are going to go straight into the demonstration with this one. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat and we are going to navigate there. I'm dropping the link here. So wherever you are, copy that link and paste it in your browser. I'm doing just the same. Okay. Now, you should see an article titled ChatGPT for AI content detection. Can you see that? Have you opened that website? Have you opened the link? Please, guys, don't leave me hanging. Let me know that I have you and I haven't lost you. Great, great. So, what I need you to do is select from the first paragraph, all right, which is starting with just in and go all the way down to the last sentence before the subheading called testing with fully AI generated content. So look at my screen, see where I am copying to. I'm copying all the way to here. All right. This is where I'm stopping with AI assisted content. Was that how far I wanted to go? Okay, yeah. That's as far as I wanted to go. Great. So I need you to copy that text. Now go to ChatGPT and I want you to send the model a prompt or write in the message area what is this text below about. Don't send it just yet. Now, remember how I said you put new lines? You send two new lines to chat. Hold down shift and punch enter. One, two, like so. And I want you to add triple ticks, okay? Back tick. So the back tick is the key before the number one. Look at your keyboard. You should see one key before number one. Do you see it? If you see it, just send that key here in the chat. Send the key here in the chat to me. Great, great. You found it. Ade has found it. Great. So I want you to make it three ticks. All right. Three ticks here. Oh, my shoot, that's not it. That's not it. Probably you should hold down shift and hit that key again. So I want you to go back to the chat, send three ticks there, paste the text that you copied. Yeah. Paste the text you copied, and then at the end of that text, add another three ticks. One, two, three. As you can see on my own screen here. Okay, great. So you can see that here there's an instruction that says, what is this text below about? And before the text, three ticks introduce the text, right? You see that three backticks introduce it, and then three backticks end it. And I'm going to send it to the model. Okay, so how about you? Are you doing something like giving information about the text? I'm sure you've seen something like a monospace, is it monospace or monoscape text or fonts. Great, great. Tani says that she sees that. Great. So I'm sure more people are also generating the same or similar processes. Now, this is, like I said, this is important to help the model identify what areas of the text it should focus on. You could decide to use instead of that maybe tags like start and end. Maybe you can use a tag like this, start and end, but it's all a guide for the model to know where it should focus on. While you may not really appreciate it if the text is not large, you really appreciate it when the text is larger. And especially when you're dealing with some codes, you want it to separate code from the rest of the instruction. Using triple six or using other tags like square brackets will help the model understand better. But Lucy, please, where did you leave us? Let's drive back and pick you up. Not following at all. Wow, wow, wow. Lucy didn't follow us on this trip. And Lucy, what I can do is that I will promise you that this video is made available. From clicking on the link, okay. Huh, not following at all. Okay, I'm going to go over this very quickly. Okay, okay. So what I said was I dropped the link here. I'm going to drop that link again. I'm going to drop the link here again. Visit this link that I dropped in the chat. Navigate to that link. You should see this article here. And I said, select from the first paragraph in this article to the last sentence before testing with AI assisted content. All right, copy. Yeah, someone copied it. Yeah, you copied the important part. So someone says that's all they got. That's what you got. Yeah, that's the text actually. That's the article. So, but copy it up to here. That's the very article I want you to read, but copy it up to here, from the top to this paragraph before testing with AI assistant content. Okay. Now, when you've done that, when you've copied that, I want you to go to ChatGPT and write this prompt. What is this text about? All right. I believe you can see my screen. Now you will bring in three backticks. I said the backtick is the key just before the one key. All right. So you have backtick 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. That key. So strike it 3 times. It gives you three, right? And then you paste this content like copy, paste it. I'm going to copy finally. copy it, paste it here, and close the text with another triple backticks. See, close the text with another triple backticks. And hit enter. Right, and the model is going to start generating for you. And last thing I said was that you will better appreciate this when you have been dealing with large bodies of text. All right, it helps the model focus on particular areas, but not just large body of text, but codes. When you are trying to generate codes, or maybe you have an error you are trying to report to the model, it's always important to enclose that snippet of code within triple ticks so that the model knows, okay, this is not a sentence, this is just a code, or this is an area which I need to focus on. Great. Okay, so Oluwakemi has her response. That's good. That's good. All right. So moving on now. Let's look at temperature control. That's the second thing under controlling outputs we are looking at. Temperature control. Now, just as people can be erratic in a hot weather, the model is able to be more creative with a higher temperature. And just as people can be very slow when it is cold, the model can generate very predictable responses when the temperature is low. Temperature range varies from model to model. The range is typically between 0 and now, you can do this directly through the model chat window or programmatically. While we do not have the luxury of time, I would encourage that after this class, you will try the Grok playground so that you understand properly what we are talking about. But we are going to interact directly with the model chat window. So what are we going to do? We are going to type the first instruction as this: set temperature to 0. I'm going to open now to ChatGPT. And see how I'm going to address this. I'm going to put in the text area, set temperature to what? To 0. And then I'll get on a new line and give the second instruction. Suggest, let's see, startup ideas for improving what? Online education. Okay, so I have two instructions I'm sending to the model simultaneously. Set temperature to 0. That's the first instruction. And then the second one is suggest startup ideas for improving education. Did we get that? If you've gotten that, just give me a thumbs in the chat. Great. Moses got it. Tani didn't get it. Stu got it. Praise got it. Tani, where you lost? I didn't get it. Ayatollah didn't get it too. So you guys tell me, where are you lost? Okay. Those who are lost, please tell me where you missed it. Tell me where you are lost. Just look at my charts, or I look at the charts in with ChatGPT. Look at my chart with ChatGPT. Yeah, you're going to see that. Ayatollah, you are going to understand better temperature once I send this instruction. Just type this. All right. If you've typed this, I want you to send it. Set temperature to 0 and suggest startup ideas for improving online education. Great, great. I'm hitting enter now. So let's see how the model responds. Hmm. Because here are several startup ideas for improving temperature. 0. AI-powered personalized skill basic micro, okay, mentorship as a service platform. Great, great, great. Well, ChatGPT, that's very nice. I need to limit the response. I can't wait for it to all be. Okay, so now here's what we'll do. We'll paste that same instruction, but this time we'll set temperature to 1. The first prompt we gave it was to set temperature to 0 and to give us ideas for improving. But this time we are setting temperature to 1. Okay, just copy and paste the previous instruction and change that 0 to 1. Oh, there's a book like that called From 0 to 1. Very interesting, by Peter Thiel. Okay, are you ready? Hit enter. Bam. Let's see what happens. With temperature set to 1, here are creative and bold startup ideas. Adventure, learning through interactive storytelling. NeuroSync, deepfake tutors. EduDAO, reality swap. So you may realize that the difference between this output and the previous output, where temperature is set to 0, is that the first output is more common, if I would use for lack of terms. It's more predictable. Yes, this is exactly what people do for to improve online education. But here, wearable integrated platform that monitors student focus via EEG headband. You know, this is unheard of. This is absolutely very creative. Okay, adapt content delivery based on mental fatigue, distraction level. So the model is now getting very, very creative. That's what temperature is about. Temperature is about the level of creativity you want your model to have. So if you set it to 0, the model gives very, very predictable responses. But if you set it to a value higher than 0, approaching 1, the model becomes very, very creative. But there's a catch here. You have to be very careful because higher temperature can lead to hallucination, which, in other words, you would call drunken speech. It will start to say things that are not realistic, things that are impossible. Okay. So that's what temperature is about. It's about randomness, creativity. Does that make sense? All right. Okay. Okay. We are getting. Nafisa says wonders. Okay. Tani. Tani, where is it you're lost? Where is it you're lost? So how do we avoid AI hallucination? Model temperature setting. Makes so much sense, right? Makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. So let me explain temperature again. So this model has temperature too. Yes, so model too, they get temperature. When the temperature is high, the model gets high and starts saying amazing things. You understand? When it is zero, it's very predictable. Someone says hot argument. Yes. Like the hot argument, people who, start yapping randomly and just say random. So in in the terms of probability and statistics, what temperature does is it handles the concept called randomness. Randomness is the feature where the model expands its gates to allow the use of more words than usual. So when you set the temperature high, you are telling the model, I want you to use more words than you usually use. And don't use the conventional terms. So instead of saying, how are you? The model will say something in, I don't know, I don't know any other way of saying how are you. But maybe the model will think of some fantastic way of saying how are you instead of the typical way we say how are you. But if you how are thou, yeah. But if you set it to zero, the model, gives a very predictable response as every regular person will respond. Say, how are you? All right. So that's it about temperature control. But I would like you at the end of the class to go here, Google this playground. Okay. I want you to Google this at the end of the class. You go to the playground and you're going to see, when you are done registering, you're going to see features like token control, temperature. All right. And you're going to play around this feature of temperature. It's going to make more sense when you're dealing with it programmatically. All right. We are going to move on from here. Now we are going to talk about output and token control. So sometimes people use too many words. Sometimes people use too many words to express themselves. Okay. You're in a conversation and you want people to be brief, but they are saying too many. Token control is one way you can prevent the model from saying too many things. So, like I said, there's a programmatical way of doing it, but then there is also the uh, simple way of doing it, which is chatting directly with the model. So, token control, all right, uh, it involves, please, Nkechika, we'll talk about playground after the class, like I said. We'll do that after the class, not now. Okay. So, like I said, token control is basically controlling the model's length. You don't want it to say too many things. Keep it short. Okay. So let's try these prompts in three different ways. All right. The first prompt you will try with 100 words limit. Okay. The second prompt, you are going to try it with one sentence, and the last prompt, you say 150 word limit. Okay. So let's try that very quickly. So regarding this article that I supplied the model, all right, let's go back to that article. You can copy it. Copy this text again. And go here. You can decide to start another chat or use the same chat and say summarize this text, summarize this text into 100 words. So here's the text. Okay, so the model is going to generate somewhere around 100 words. I don't know if it's up to 100 words. Is this 100 words? Let me see. Word document. Okay, let's see how true this is. Is this 100 words? Hmm, fair. 101 words. Is that fine? Oh, it's actually 100 words. See that? See that here? It's actually 100 words. Okay, so that was the first example we tried. Now, we'll use the same prompts, right? But this time we'll summarize to what? One sentence. Summarize it to one sentence. Go. That is just one sentence. You see that, guys? This is basically token control. And you can try it again with 150 word limits. While these models don't do well, they may not do so well with the word count. Sometimes they may underperform or overperform. By that, I mean they may give you more or less words, but somewhere around the target number you have. You will better appreciate this feature of token control when you are dealing with the model programmatic, which is why I said that you can go into the Grok playground and it allows you that feature. If you don't know anything about programming, it's fine. Like Grok has a user interface, a GUI that allows you to just chat with the model and control token and temperature. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Great, great. Thank you. All right. So the last thing we'll be discussing for controlling output is tone and format control. Now, when we talk of tone, we are talking about two things. The first thing we are talking about is the tone of your query. So the tone of your query is the way you query the model or the way you interact with the model, which will determine how it will respond. You don't instruct the model to do something and expect it to give you a suggestion. It won't. For instance, asking the model that the time, what the time is, is different from telling the model what time is. All right. So you are the one who defines how the conversation goes. So it's just like English language or any other language. There's a way you frame a statement and it's a question. And that same statement can be framed differently and it becomes a suggestion or a very firm statement. That is what tone of query is. The other thing is the tone of the output. That is, you define the style of the output. Should it be casual or a formal output, or should it be a narrative response? You want it to be very persuasive. These are things that you put into consideration that will determine how your output will come out. And the last thing under tone and format is format control. And we've already gotten over that, where we said that you can ask the model to generate a list or a table, an email, or whatever. So that's what tone is about. So later on, you can try this tone. Uh, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip tone, but let me understand if you understand it. Give me a thumbs if you do understand. Give me something else if you don't understand. All right. Nafisa gets it. So Olatunji says we do. Olatunji is like you are speaking for everybody. You did all their computer. All right, press gets it. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, Yantola, you get it. You get it. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of you all. DSN is proud of you. Amazing. Okay, so moving on. We talk about reasoning and refinement. So starting reasoning and refinement is chain of thought prompting. Before I go further, I'd like to point out that basically models do not think. I'll say it again, models do not think. They simply generate text based on probability. Like I said in our first class, models learn like children. They copy language patterns. Kids learn by associating things, words with actions or events, events with emotional expressions with people. That is why sometimes a child may mimic an elder and say, this is how my grandpa works. They don't really understand why the grandpa works like that. They just see him walking like that and they copy him whenever he passes the hallway. So models through statistical algorithms learn to associate certain topics with others. They learn things like this. When I was in training, I saw some things about apples, and this is how it looked. Okay, then, since you are asking about apples, here's how I learned it. That's basically how models are thinking in the background. But that being said, chain of thought prompting involves providing steps for the model to follow. It is especially useful for complex tasks that require more than just text generation, but logical reasoning. Let's look at an example prompt here, which says solve this step by step. Write a Python function that checks whether a number is prime. Start by explaining how a prime number works, then break the logic into clear parts before writing the function. Now, if you are to take this prompt, all right, and exclude the step-by-step aspects and just ask it to write a function that checks for prime numbers. If it is a very complex task, the model will not do so well. But when you ask it to go step by step, it's going to generate steps before it does the actual design of the function. So I'm going to copy this prompt. Ooh, I'm going to copy this prompt and send to us so that you can try it on your end. Blessing, you are no longer a beginner. You can't be a beginner again. After this class, you are no longer a beginner. Amen. Say amen. Okay. So this is the prompt. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. This is the prompt I want you to send to the model here. So let's go to GPT and drop this prompt. So solve this step by step. Write a Python function that checks whether a number is prime. Start by explaining how a prime number works, then break the logic into clear parts before writing. Let's see what it does. Okay. Okay. So it breaks the whole process into reasonable steps. And once it does that breakdown, it helps the model to generate a content that is consistent with what you want. All right. So if we copy this code, we'll see that it's working. As I'm looking at the code, I don't see any problem. Do you? Okay. It doesn't look like there's a problem here. Okay, it looks fine to me. All right, I hope it's fine to you. If it's not, please don't call me today. Okay, but basically, that's how it works. Thanks, Ulatunji. Yeah, that's how it works. That is how chain of thought works. So you guide the model through steps. All right. You can tell it step one, do this. Or you tell it and go through this process step by step. Sometimes you can even define what the steps are for the model to go through. Okay, so let's go back to what we are doing. Uh, so the next aspect in reasoning and refinement is multi-step prompting. Multi-step prompting is similar to chatting to the model, right? Giving it feedback about its response. It's more like a supervisory technique and is especially useful when crafting something unique, like writing a scholarship letter or letter of intent for university program. Now, when writing a letter of intent, you have a draft which goes through multiple refinements before morphing into final, right? So this multi-step prompting is very useful. So you don't just give it everything, guide it through the process step by step. Look at its output, correct it, tell it, and make it shorter and stuff like that. Yes, yes, please, you are correct. Responses are given based on probability of next token. That is the next word. What is the likely next word after the word? That's how the model generates its response. Okay, so I use this basically when I have no idea how to start writing, have no specific knowledge how something should be written. I use this to build a final output by asking the model questions about its response or my input. It's what you basically call brainstorming. In fact, can I tell you guys a secret? Okay, I'll tell you a secret, but if I tell you, you can't tell anyone about it. Are you hearing me? If I tell you, you can't tell anyone about it. Okay, praise, I'm going on. Okay. So, all right, my secret is this. Mm. This entire slide was created with this prompting. Yeah, but you can't tell anybody that now. You can't tell anyone. You promise you will say anything. So, no, you can't. Like you can't tell any LLM that. All right, moving on. So here's an example that we can try, right? We'll go again to another article. Let's copy this article. Let me drop this article. Please note what I'm dropping in the chat. Now we get to this. Um, can you see my screen? That article, and you know how we do it. Just go and copy. Just go and copy and paste. All right, so let's just copy this article. Uh, let's go, let's go, let's go. How far are we copy? Yeah, copy the entire article. In fact, stop right here. Right, copy it. Have you copied it? If you've copied it, go back to the chat. Go to your chat with ChatGPT and prompt it saying, summarize this text. Remember how we do it, eh? We've become superstars, so we know about delimiters. You're not just going to drop text random. You're going to delimit this text so that the model knows that is this article we are talking, right? See the delimiters here. See that? To put the text within delimiters. Oh, I need to give it a further limitation. Summarize this text two paragraphs. Take a look on the this new paragraph. Yeah, summarize this text in two paragraphs. The entire text, Danny. The entire text. The entire text. Not long. All right. So I'll just paste it now. Okay, so I've hit it, and I don't know if you're seeing what it's doing on my screen. Okay, so did you ask it to summarize the text. Have you done that? Great. I need two more people to say, oh, okay, great, great. Let's move on. So if you've done that, I want you to give it a follow-up prompt, asking it to extract key ideas about this article into a table. Have you done that? Did you give it a follow-up prompt? Great, great, great. Um, I think my internet is poor. It's slowing down the model response. But has it responded to you when you gave it a follow-up prompt asking to extract key ideas? Did it generate it in a table? Did it tabulate it? Good, good, good. Well, I did the second prompt is extract key ideas about this article into a table. That's the second prompt. Okay, Nafisa says yes. Oh, blessing, you didn't catch up on what we're doing. Well, it works, but that's not what we are doing at this instance. Okay, we gave it an article. Okay, but at least you understand the steps. That's what matters. You understand the steps involved. Great. Can you see my screen? Okay. There's something up with my internet. So I'm going to unshare and reshare my screen. How about now? Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay. Awesome. My forms didn't go through. Yes, yes, you're correct. Susu, you are correct. You just need to give it another prompt to support, which is tabulate uh, key ideas about this part. Yeah. So if it gave you something like this, then you're on the right path. You understand what we are doing. Okay. So it's about giving it a follow-up prompt so that it guides you, it guides the model on your output. So we are going to move on. We're going to move on from this. Let's go back to our slide. And the next thing we are going to talk about, which is actually the last thing about reasoning and refinement, is self-consistency. Now, what is self-consistency? And what is self-consistency prompting? It is close to multi-step prompting, but here's what it looks like. I would like to call it something like versioning. Here, the model generates various outputs and helps you choose based on consistency, the output, or the most meaningful version. So, for instance, you ask the model, generate 3 stories about Nigeria, 3 different stories about Nigeria, whereby 3 different people won the elections. All right. So one story, it is our president that is president. In the other story, or the other 2 stories, the other candidate became president. And the model will generate complete instances of how Nigeria would look like if each of these people were the president. And then you ask the model, still within that same prompt, that it should pick which is the best situation. Okay. So it's very, very helpful when you have solutions you want to try simultaneously. So let me give us an example prompt. 3 software engineers, a front-end developer, a back-end developer, and a data scientist are asked to solve the same problem, which is what? Create a tool to detect duplicate customer records. Each gives a unique solution. Compare their answers, then select the most reliable or let the group vote on the best approach. So I'm dropping this prompt in the chat. I'm dropping this prompt in the chat. That's the prompt. You can start a new chat. Start a new chat. All right. Let's see how the model behaves here. Look at what it does. Says, let's look at how each of the 3 software engineers might approach the problem. Okay. It shows the front-end developer solution. It shows the back-end developer solution for the same problem, which is to create a tool to detect duplicate customer records. Then it gives us the data scientist solution. Then it compares the results of each solution. So look at what it says. It compares the results of each of these solutions, right? Then it says best overall solution, the data scientist solution, best practical, fastest to deploy, backend developer. So do you see what happens here? It acts like 3 different persons and creates content based on those 3 different personalities or stereotypes. And then it comes out of character and select the best solution or which is the best output. That's what it did right here. it played character for each of these roles: front-end dev, back-end dev, data scientist. And then it came out of character and selected which was the best solution. And it identified the data scientist solution as the best solution. And then it did a group voting. So how many of us got something like this? Okay. Okay, great, great, great. We are catching on. So do you understand how this concept works? Do you understand how self-consistency works now? Great, great, great. Wow, you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So there, there isn't necessarily a answer. It's, it's about preference. Okay, there isn't necessarily a right or wrong answer. So the model is making a preference, saying that it's rather inclined to the data scientist. So it's not about being right or wrong. So the model is saying here, back-end developers approach is the most reliable and practical for a wide range. Okay, great. So we all get the concepts now. I'm glad about that. So you can try this for just uh, different scenarios. Okay. All right. Lucy, you have a question. Please just take note of that question. We're going to attempt to. We have just 30 minutes to. We have a couple more slides. We have like 6 slides to complete. Okay, so just take note of that question and we are going to attempt it during the Q&A. Okay, let's move on. So now we are going to talk about we're going to talk about analytical and adaptive techniques. This is the third section here. Analytical and adaptive techniques. And the first thing we'll be addressing is how to handle ambiguity. So when we say something is ambiguous, it's not clear, it's not well defined, it's not straightforward. So one way to handle ambiguity is to ask the model to request clarification or to offer it choices. All right. Even you are not clear or you don't have all the details, but you ask the model, ask me questions so that I can give you a response. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, so let's go back to the model and ask it to act as a doctor and to diagnose possible ailments when given symptoms. All right, ask the ask it to act as a doctor. Let me right here. I'm going to open up a new tab. So you would have noticed by now that I open new charts. This is so that we maintain context. We don't always want the model to be thinking different things at the same time. We want it to be consistent in conversation. Don't you get bored when people are starting a gist and instead of finishing that gist, they open another chapter of another gist. They don't allow this other gist to run. I'm very disturbing. For someone like me, I want to finish the whole story before you open another chapter. So that's why I do that anyway. So the prompt I'm going to give it is act as a doctor to diagnose possible ailments when given symptoms. Given, and Ask me relevant questions in turn to help um, you clarify situation. Okay, so I'm going to send you this prompt. Okay, I've dropped the prompt in the chat. So send this prompt to the model. Ask it to act as a doctor to diagnose possible ailments. Ask relevant questions in terms to help you clarify. Hello, hello, hello. Thank God. Can you hear me now? Okay, guys, have you prompted the model? Good, good, good. Ridwan has gotten a response. Great, great, great. So now let's give it another prompt. Let's tell it my stomach hurts. Good, good. Okay, so let's ask the model. Go back to the chat and ask the model or tell the model, say my stomach or my head hurts. I don't like either of my body parts. So which one should we give it? I beg, which part of our body should we tell the model is paining? Because I get work to do. I don't want to give him my head. Leg. Oh, actually, my leg actually hurts. Okay, my leg hurts. Okay, so let's go ahead and prompt the model with that. My leg hurts. Okay, what do you have? Show me, what do you have? What do you guys get from the model? It says, what exactly on your leg is the pain? Wow, that's yeah, it's asking me good. So it's asking for clarification. Let me see. Okay, which part of the leg is hurt? So yeah, mine is the hamstring that is hurting me. Okay, and it says got it. Pain in the left hamstring. Let's get deeper. So you see, the model asks you for more description. It doesn't rush to conclusions. It doesn't rush to generate the rest. It just takes its time with you because you have asked it to ask you questions. So this is this is one of the ways in which you handle ambiguity. All right. You ask it to ask for clarification. So let's move ahead. Now you can try this on later, and if you actually have any help, it will give you suggestions. All right. Now, another adaptive technique is iterative prompting. Sometimes the best way to do it is to just do it. If it doesn't come out right, you just keep trying till you get what you want. That's basically iterative prompting. You give the model a first draft, hey, write me one paragraph intro for my report. And when it generates that, you say, make it more engaging. And after it does that, you can say, oh, no, you are not right there. Correct this, and you keep refining to get exactly what you want. So, iterative prompting. I see people are laughing at the doctor. Okay. Yes, yes. Choose to or choose to look. Yes, you have to, at the end of the day, go visit a new doctor. Okay. Now, analytical, let's talk about context windows. Remember, we explained on day one that context window is one of the factors that affect your prompt selection. Context window is basically what the model can remember per time during inference. By inference, we mean content generation. If the input is too long, the model chunks it, causing the model to forget some things. So you need to be aware of this when you are dealing with the model. So one of the tips you can apply is to use summaries to shorten the background information so that it doesn't lose the context. Does that make sense? Remember, I said I like opening new chats because I don't want it to confuse the conversation. I want it to stay on a particular line of conversation. If it's science we are talking about, I beg, let's discuss science to the very uttermost. Let's not talk about Japanese here. If we are talking about food, let's talk about food all the way. Let's not talk about football. So while the model can, from time to time, switch based on what you are talking about, it's very important to be aware of the context window. Right? You don't want it to uh, outside what you are discussing with it about. Okay, now sentiment analysis. LLMs, like we said, large language models, are built with a certain feature in them called an attention mechanism, self attention specifically. This allows the model to determine which words are contextually important in a sentence, helping it model the overall meaning of the sentence based on statistical pattern. Okay, if you didn't understand what that meant, what I'm saying is the model understands your language, or in this case, English language. Mhm. So, have you heard how a Chinese person speaks English, like a proper Chinese person speaks? You will be amazed. Why? Because the Chinese will be speaking English from his cultural perspective. He's not going to be speaking English from your cultural perspective. And so he may use certain terms in the very literal meaning, which do not apply in a cultural context. Let's say, for instance, in language, all right, in Efik, we say stuff like uh, Amedio. If there's anybody here who is an Ibibio speaker, we say Amedio when we are welcoming a guest. Now, if you translate that to English language, what that is you have come. Literally, it means you have come. But you have come is not what you are supposed to say to somebody. You have come is like saying, troublemaker don't show. So you don't say you have come. You have to say you are welcome. So that um, difference or those nuances in language is what LLMs are able to demystify through this thing we call attention mechanism. They are able to understand the meaning of the entire sentence. They get the whole concept. So that's why they are able to generate content that is meaningful to what you are saying, or what you are prompted in with. And that being said, because it is able to understand language, it is able to perform sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is basically identifying what sentiments people have in the text. The sentiments could be good, it can be a bad sentiment, it can be a neutral sentiment. Okay. So you can use prompt engineering to analyze the sentiments behind text. So let's take one for an example. All right. There's this sentiment that I have about Avengers. Let's analyze the movie. So this is the prompt sending here. That's the prompt, right? Oh, that is the text. Then the prompt is this: analyze this Avengers what movie. So look at that. My prompt is this: analyze this Avengers movie review. Thor is a really brawny blonde. Uh, Tony is an egotistical movie. In fact, Avengers are a team of angry high schoolers. Okay, and I'm sending that to the body. Remember, the instruction has to come first. Analyze this Avengers movie review. Okay, so he's analyzing the text. I'm going to ask you for a very short, what's the sentence? Yeah, I'm saying what's the sentiment behind the review. Okay, see what it says. See what it says. The tone is sarcastic, perspective, likely a pop culture savvy viewer, possibly from Nigeria, style informal. Asking what is the sentiment behind this review? So it says is mixed with a leaning toward negative. Are you seeing that review? Are you getting something similar? You are getting something similar. Here it's telling me a mixed sentiment, leaning negative, expressed through sarcasm. I need to give it like it's mostly negative with a humorous or sarcastic tone. Great. It makes sense. Sarcastic humor. Okay. Are we catching on there? Great, great. Less with humor and something. Great. Oh, I hope it's not just two people who are catching on, or three. Michael has his too. Michael, the sentiment behind this review is sarcastic and humorous, with a mildly critical tone. Okay, how about the rest of us? Are we catching on? I'm looking for some names. Olaide, I hope I got your name right. Okay. Cheta says we are following. Lucy is on point. Light day, okay. Yeah, yeah. So you're here, okay. Thank you. Thank you. You all are still here. I thought you were sleeping, but gladly you're still here. Thanks for walking this walk with me. All right, great. So the next thing, analytical task. And what do we mean by analytical task? So let's say you have um, two articles and you want it to compare and contrast. Remember, is able to analyze sentiment. So you can use it for the same thing. You can extract arguments and juxtapose them and try to find a middle ground or to find differences between each of those things. So you can analyze the text and categorize it, compare, find commonality between both texts, whatever you please. So we can try that here. Uh, compare main argument. So let's give it an argument. Hmm. Let's see. Similarity between the half the yellow sun story and Avengers. Is there any similarity in any way between the half of the yellow sun story and the Avengers? So let's see. Is there? I'm dropping it here for you. It says yes. All right. Remember, I said it can find commonalities. All right. So look at it analyzing the story of Half of the Yellow Sun and the movie The Avengers. It's about conflict and war, trauma and loss, complex characters with flaws, identity and belonging. It says Half of the Yellow Sun dives into national identity and personal roots. The Avengers often question loyalty to team, country, or self, especially in films like Civil War. So while one is deeply personal historical novel and the other is superhero fantasy, they both explore human struggle, conflict, and identity, just in very different ways. So this is very, very useful when you are trying to write a literature review and you are going through couples of texts and you're trying to find a commonality between one text and what you are working with. This is very helpful. It saves you a whole lot. So at this point in time, I am going to hold on. We are going to do more things tomorrow and next. I want us to take a break right now and ask me questions within the time frame we have. Annie says, finally, oh, you wanted me to close. You're enjoying me talking. Anyway, thank you all very much. I'll stand by for questions and comments. Thank you all too. Teju, are you there?
Hi, mate. Thank you so much for this awesome delivery. Please confirm you can hear
Hello,
me.
please confirm that you can hear me. Yes, so thank you very much, Ma'am, for this section. Okay, just a minute. Please, you can start dropping your questions. And before I put up my screen now for um, the next updates. Okay, please let's start. Let's appreciate men for the session that was delivered. These have been consistent for the past 2 weeks, and tomorrow by 2 we are going to continue. Yeah. Okay, I'm putting up my screen. Okay, so this is the attendance link. If you have not uh, filled the attendance, it is very important for you to drop the attendance, to complete this form to drop the attendance. Okay, and the last one, don't forget, in case you have not registered for this event, kindly do so as soon as you can. It is important for you to register for this. It's going to be fun and interesting. Yeah, the Sprint Challenge. Yeah, I'm very sure those of us are on the course already. Let's complete it. Don't forget that by Friday, it will be, that's the deadline for submission. Okay, so we need your feedback. Let's know your feedback. There's mentorship feedback form. So please drop your feedback here. We're going to use it to improve subsequent editions. So thank you everyone for joining today's section. We meet again tomorrow by 2. Let's thank Imen, the favorite emoji again. See you tomorrow and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye everyone.